Hey everybody, I'm Hillary Wagner. I am here with Nick Perjean. He is from Louisiana, and I'm not going to make him talk in a Cajun accent, but it would be really cool if he did. He is our head of tech at Awesomely, and we are hiring an amazing, super talented data architect slash engineer that can whip our data into shape. So Nick, I'm going to hand it over to you to tell the kind people of the universe a little bit more about the role.
Okay. Well, thank you, Hillary. I so a little bit about myself. I'm VP of Tech and Dev at Awesomely. Um, Awesomely is a company. We basically have like an information marketing uh business model, also known as direct response marketing, if anyone's familiar with that. We sell courses online. Our business model is we get a lot of our traffic through paid media, through affiliates. This role is going to be a someone that's highly skilled and technical, has ideally dealt with marketing data before. Um, we have a marketing pipeline. That's what I'm calling it, marketing data pipeline. And effectively, we deal with the collection of data from the start of the user landing on a landing page, right? They responded to an ad, they land on a landing page. So it's the collection of data regarding whatever actions they take, right? They opt into a web form, they land on an order page, they view a video, right? There's all sorts of events. All this, they buy products, obviously. All this data goes into our pipeline. We process it. At the end of it, it gets created and it gets formed into reports, which are then used by our stakeholders, like our paid media uh, managers, our marketing managers, our CMO, et cetera. Right. So your responsibility in this role would be for this entire pipeline, right? Maintaining it, keeping it up to date. One of the first things that we want, in this role is someone that can come in, look at our setup, and really just evaluate it, from all sorts of angles, right? Like any system, it's a system that we frankly we've moved at 1,000 miles an hour over the past couple of years, right? And we've built something pretty great, you know. However, it there's always room for improvement, right? And we have a lot of challenges around how the system works. There's certain gaps in it, and some of the challenges we have now are some of the challenges that we're facing right now have to do with um, inaccurate data, consistency of data being pulled in, systems that third party like platforms that where we're pulling data from, and those connections fail, and we're unaware of it, so the data goes behind. So we need alerting and reporting. We need visibility into some of the interactions that we don't have right now, right? Um, and just overall, if I had to say, the system really needs to be. It depends on the stakeholder, but for the paid media team, they need like real time data, right? They need real time data, which translates to as close to real time reporting as possible. They're getting that to some degree, but it's not where we want it to be. Um, we need accuracy, we need consistency, anything you would ask for in data capture and reporting. We also need this. One of the important things in my mind is maintaining cost effectiveness. Um, if anyone who's familiar with cloud-based services know that in this environment, you start out at small volume with a cloud-based service because it's easy. A lot of it is set up for you. But as you grow and as you evolve, they charge you by volume, right? So your costs can get out of control pretty quickly. So one of our challenges right now is we need, in addition to some of the transparency that would probably involve a migration, we need someone that's going to come in and really have a mind for, well, how can I keep this cost effective? How can I keep this optimized?
Yeah.
How can I yeah, and that might involve migrating other systems. It might just involve configuring and tweaking the systems we have, right? And queries and things like that. So that kind of encapsulates the challenges that we're facing right now and why we need someone in this role. I've
Yeah.
handled a lot of this. Big part of it too is I've handled a lot of this personally, and I've been promoted recently, and I just don't have the time, right, to or the
Let me
bandwidth
ask you
to do
this. Let
this.
me ask you this. So for this role, you know, just to piece it out for anyone who's interested, like what would you say are like kind of the key technical qualities you're looking for in this candidate?
Yes. So again, the role is highly technical in my mind.
Yeah.
You've got to have an understanding of business and marketing analytics, right? You've got to have experience with generally with databases in a business capacity. Um, I'm pretty open to, you know, I don't want to limit it to like, hey, you need experience with this certain platform because a lot of these platforms are just rebrands of kind of
Right.
the same stuff, right? Like BigQuery versus Snowflake, right? We use certain technologies. We use BigQuery, but like if you have experience with Redshift or Snowflake, right, you can probably fit in with what we're doing with BigQuery, right? So I don't want to limit it to certain technologies or certain platforms, but you would need experience in platforms like that. If you think of anything that's involved in the what I explained in this data pipeline, right? If you're familiar with this kind of thing, right, this
Yeah.
kind of Martech role, you would know, okay, I need to be familiar with Google Tag Manager. I probably need to have used Google Analytics before. I've got to have an understanding of tracking data, right? Or tracking pixels, I should say. I've got to have an basic understanding of e-commerce systems and how they capture the data,
Yeah.
right? I've got to have an understanding of uh, ETL processes, right? Which is just basically the transformation of the data into a form that can better be used in reporting, right? And this person too also has to have a skill, has to, I don't know that it's required, but it would be ideal if they've had some sort of experience with reporting because or generating reports because that's going to be part of this role for sure, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these stakeholders there's a lot of existing reports. There are always changes. There are always new reports that need to be made. So in addition to the whole data pipeline, this person also would put together reports.
And from a soft skill standpoint, what do you think in this role and in Awesomely as a whole is going to be someone who would be a great fit here? Besides
When you
me,
say, well, what do you say? What do you say? Soft scale? What do you mean?
like it's their soft skills, right? Like their personality, how they fit in, that kind of
Oh,
thing.
right. Okay. Soft skill. Sorry, I thought you said soft scale. I'm like, what is that?
It's a
Um,
new software, you don't know.
right. No, yeah, no. I mean, ideally, they're a person that's very responsive, very detail oriented. You've really got to have good communication skills. In this role, we need someone that is going to be available, during the business day. Frankly, as if they were in an office. We need someone that's available for our stakeholders when there are issues with reports or there's issue with data accuracy or whatever the case may be. They need to be there and
Yeah.
responsive, and you know, at the very least, letting the stakeholders know that they're addressing problems and issues, right? Um, the importance of that is especially for our paid media team, they make decisions sometimes by the minute or by the hour. In this particular climate, especially with marketing, I mean they are constantly pivoting. So they've got to have someone available to them that's able to address, problem solve, fix issues pretty quickly,
Yeah.
right?
5 alarm fires.
Yes, yes. Well, I mean,
Awesome.
if you ask them, everything is a five-alarm fire, as we know.
Of course it is.
Right,
If
right,
you're in paid media, yes,
right,
everything's a 5 alarm
right.
fire
Well,
for many
exactly.
reasons.
But obviously, with this is the ability to triage, right? Like
Yeah.
you need to be able to communicate, okay, to the stakeholders. Look, this is not a big an issue as you think it is. That kind of thing, right? So
And
if yeah.
just like having been here with Awesomely as long as you have, on a cultural level, what do you think makes a great fit in at Awesomely overall?
Yeah, I mean, from a cultural level, like we're not corporate minded people, right? We're we really all sort of have an independent entrepreneurial. A lot
Hmm.
of the people that come from this company, me included, we come from an entrepreneurial background. Um, so culturally, we have that mindset, right? And it's really results based, right? For example, yes, you do have to be available, like I just said, responsive, but at the same time, it's not like we're going to be sitting there clocking your hours and say, wait, you didn't work 8 hours or 10 hours today, right? Like we care about results, right?
Right.
And that's the culture. Everyone here is hardworking, and we're very
Yeah.
casual too. I mean, you see, we're wearing t-shirts here. I'm not wearing a suit, and I would hate that. I don't. That's why I'm doing this. I don't want to wear a suit, you know.
Right.
And that's our culture, and everyone on our team is like that. But don't, again, don't let that fool you. We all work hard. We're all A players. We're all team
Yeah, you're all
players.
eight players, that's for sure.
So that's that's a nutshell of our culture, and that's who I would want, someone that fits that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, I think that that's a really good summary of the role. Obviously, that's not everything, but we try our best to give you this video to give you an overview of what the role is, a little bit about Awesomely, a little bit about the person you will be working for. And I can tell you it's an amazing company. And I think whoever gets this role is going to be really, really happy they did. Nick, anything in closing you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to add too, just to off of what Hillary said. Like I've worked with I've been in this business for 20 years, and I've worked with Awesomely for about 2 years, and the culture here is the best I've ever worked with.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
like it really is top notch. I'm very happy with it. So if you're looking at other roles and they're about the same, think of us here because you won't regret it. So
Yeah,
anyway,
and I can tell you from all my years in talent acquisition, I've had to, you know, uh, leave companies because, in effect, I was lying when I was recruiting candidates. I can't not do my
yeah,
job. They know, don't work here. But, it was a
right,
terrible work environment. And I hated bringing people in, and here it's not that. Here I'm like, oh, you're going to love it. You
right. And I
have to
and
be a
I'm the same
psychopath
way.
not to love
No,
it.
I'm the same way. There's level of sincerity, so
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, we hope you apply and you understand a little bit more about us and the role and have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.